today's show, a helping hand. AFL players looking out for each other.
When the season's over, how will the Crows shape their squad?
And what happens when players are told to forget about football for a few days?
Hi everyone and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Optus. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith. And Mark, the pressures on AFL players today are enormous.
Yes, they've never been greater. Not only to perform at their best under intense scrutiny,
but also to deal with social media and all the other off-field distractions and temptations.
So that's where the AFL Players Association has a vital role in safeguarding the players' welfare.
Good finish. Thought it through.
The association's huge for the players. It's a voice for the players. It's been designed by the players for the players, and it has a lot of player input, which is crucial to how it's run. So Marshy's over there in Melbourne running the show, and he's always after players' input and players' feedback, because at the end of the day, the decisions they make affect all the players on the list.
Back when we were going through the last CBA, Marshy and the whole PA came over to do their regular club visits, and I just mentioned to Marshy, I'm like, mate, whatever way I can help you to make sure we get the best CBA possible for not only us but the future players coming through. He ended up ringing me about a week later and said, we've actually got a spot on the board.
The AFL Players Association has held its annual general meeting ahead of what looms as significant negotiations.
Part of my job is to be the voice for the Adelaide Football Club, and so then I kind of can be that joining voice. I ask the playing group what they think, then kind of relay that information back to Marsh and the guys in Melbourne.
So we've got 2 player delegates from every club that we try and utilise to make sure we're getting our messages across consistently for each 18 clubs.
Keep your hands to yourself.
There are quite a few issues at the moment. We've got players on the Laws of the Game committee, so they're looking at how the game looks and going forward, and also the mental health side of the game. That's been a fair bit of a talking point this year, it's fair to say. What
the PA and the AFL want to do is really work together to help address this issue of mental health. One pleasing thing we're doing as a PA is helping guys speak about it.
The AFL is a pressurised industry. It always has been and always will be, and the PA is really built to teach players how to kind of adjust to the AFL lifestyle and through these social media channels, and on how to use social media positively as well.
Will help himself to the goal.
Okay, with just 8 rounds left, many fans are weighing up the Crows finals prospects. Mark, what are your thoughts?
Well, I like their chances, certainly to play finals, but really the aim here now with 8 rounds to go is consolidate that spot and as best you can push up as close as or get into the top 4.
Well, looking at the run home, it does appear quite favourable.
Yes, Port Adelaide next up, which is a tough game but very winnable, and then it's Gold Coast, Essendon, Carlton and St Kilda, and you just look at those games and you think Adelaide absolutely can win all of them, and that puts them, if not in the top 4, very well placed to do so.
We speak of the top 4. Is a top 4 finish absolutely essential?
History says your best chance of winning a flag is coming from the top 4, but as we know, the Bulldogs did it in 2016. They came from 7th. I think the most important thing is really being in form when you hit September.
All right, thanks very much for that, Mark. Well, South Australia's defence of its national under-18s title is well underway, and the boys have been getting some extra help at training from Richard Douglas and Josh Jenkins. Thanks to Revolution Roofing, we learned that the pair not only enjoy a break from their normal routine, but also get a taste of coaching in case that's where they want to head in the future.
Nice, mate.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah, nice. Boys, good. So I got involved coaching with the state 18s because I thought that was really where I want to do what I want to do after football. I've been involved for 14 years at the AFL level and developed a passion for coaching. So I thought a fantastic opportunity. Tony Benford's been amazing to help me come share my knowledge with the boys that are in the championships this year. So it's really exciting, and looking at after the midfield group with Benny Nelson. So it's been good for my development.
Because you need a guy that's not just a natural ball winner, because they just drift into the contest, don't they?
Great for me as a coach to be able to lean onto those 2 guys, Dougie with his midfield craft, and then also JJ working with our rucks and our forwards. But for the players themselves, to be able to mix with current AFL footballers and form a relationship with those guys has been wonderful. And like last year when we had Brodie Smith involved, we're really thankful for these players for giving their time to us, and obviously thankful to the Crows for allowing them to do it.
Get yourself in that position there where you catch it there, one step, bang, you're off.
Brodie's leadership has, grown out of sight really. He, really shy young boy when he came into the group, but he's really matured now, and certainly the guys here that were here last year talked really highly about Brodie, and he speaks highly about the group as well. So they were lucky enough to win the championships last year, and he still's got the medal hanging above his locker, which he's really proud of. Yeah, hopefully it benefits the boys a little bit. We obviously we've both played enough footy now to learn some tricks along the way, and I know when I was 18 and the like, to get some guys that have had some AFL experience to come down and pass on some knowledge would be invaluable. So I think hopefully they've got a bit out of it.
Still to come on the Crows Show, some big decisions when the season's over.
Next week, it's another showdown. This time, a late Saturday afternoon home game. It'll be crucial to each club's finals chances, and one way to see the game is to buy a 3-game bronze membership, which will entitle you to 2 other home fixtures this season. Now, several challengers have come close to edging out Don Pike in our one-hole contest at Glenelg, but so far, he's been unbeatable.
Hey guys, welcome to the Glenelg Golf Cup once again for the Optus One-Hole Challenge, and I'm joined here today by Channel 7 sports reporter and presenter Theo Doropoulos. Welcome along, Theo.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's nice to be on the other side of the interview for once.
It's actually comfortable having you ask me the questions instead of some of the garbage I dish up to you.
No, that's fine, that's good. Now, we've obviously a bit of golfing. Now, you are a golfer, I know that for a fact.
Take it very seriously.
Do you? Okay, well, we'll see how we go.
That actually looks amazing.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's on.
On though. It's on there. It's covered the flag.
Righto. Right, that's all right too. Oh, that's on as well.
Yeah, that's on. Now, Theo.
Yes.
Your former career as a cricketer.
Yep.
Obviously played at both WA and South Australia.
Yep.
But I'm interested in your Test career.
Oh yeah, right. That was very short-lived. A bit of dumb luck, to be honest, Pikey. Right place, right time. So the beauty of the situation was I'd just been dropped from the WA team, so I was really thrilled to go and play a bit of grade cricket. Got a call, would you mind going down to the Wacker? So instead of making some runs and trying to get my WA spot back, I had to ditch that game and go and lob at the Wacker. Australia were playing the West Indies. I hadn't been at the ground more than 5 seconds and Nathan Horrocks come off with gastro, so I had to run onto the field. Mitchell Johnson runs in and bowls a half volley to Solomon Bennett. He proceeds to hit an absolute tracer bullet straight at my chest. Sure enough, the ball hit me in the chest, left a C mark right down the middle of my torso there, and I was picking it up off the deck.
Now that's the first ball you were on the ground, correct?
The very first ball.
Right out of the middle of the bat and out of the middle of the hands.
The story has a happy ending.
It does.
Because you eventually got him, correct?
It's one of the great redemption stories. So Simon Kadich said, look, you don't look too comfortable here, champion. And then Solomon Bennett, he ended up hitting Mitch Johnson for consecutive sixes. Deep backward square, just sort of licking my wounds. Ben flicks one. It was a foot outside off stump and I'm behind square. And I promise you this, as soon as he hit that second one up in the air, I thought, oh, thank Christ for that. I've got this. I was very comfortable. Michael Clark came up to me and he said, you're lucky you caught that one, son, because if you didn't, you would have been on the receiving end of Ricky Ponting's karate chop, and that's not nice.
All right, well, we've got a couple of putts for 2 here, which is good. So
we're far closer than I thought we'd be.
Let's see what happens.
Well, it looks all right. Oh, that's better than all right. That is better than all right.
Wowee. I'll give
That's embarrassing.
We don't need to see that one in.
Beautiful. Well, you haven't seen me putt before.
No, that's all good. Thanks for joining me today, Theo.
Pleasure, mate.
Well, at this stage of the year, the club has one eye firmly on the finals and the other a little further down the track. Beginning in October, recruiting staff have to deal with free agency, trade week and finally the AFL draft. Here's the Advertiser's Reece Homfray.
We're still in June and Adelaide's season is very much still alive, but no doubt this management team would have one eye on the future, particularly next year and the off-season period. After the controversial pick swap with Carlton last year, fans have had one eye on where exactly that draft pick at the end of the year is going to land. Right now, it looks like number 1. Initially my thought was that Adelaide should use that pick to try and lure home a Jack Lukosius or a Brodie Grundy. But having seen the way that Adelaide's turned their season around, particularly in the last month, and the depth across their list, now I'm not so sure. I'm starting to wonder whether Adelaide's better off going to the draft, taking the best kid in the country regardless of where he's from. From there, it's just a matter of whether that draft pick stays the journey and plays 250 games for the club, or whether the Crows can go to the trade table in 12 months' time with some genuine currency to play with.
Thanks, Reece. Plenty to think about over the next few months. Now, what happens when players are told to forget about football for a few days? We'll find out after the break.
Welcome back. Over 5 years on the Crows Show, Brodie Smith has helped us get to know more about his teammates. But this season, those same players are finding out just how much he's remembered about them. Today, it's the turn of Wayne Miller, all thanks to Thomas Farms.
This week, I'm joined by Wayne Miller. Let's see how much I know about Junior. Welcome, mate.
Smithy, what's going on?
Not much, mate.
Right, first question, pretty simple. Where am I from?
SA boy.
Yeah.
In the down in the north.
Yeah, that's it. Junior Footy Club.
Obviously, Central's before here.
Yeah, so local.
No, not the North Pines.
North Pines, not there.
No, I don't know. What was Junior Footy Club?
Ingle Farm. Good club down there. What draft pick was I?
10. No. 14.
That was 11.
No.
You went up. That's one half. Alright, this one's probably a bit tough one for you. Siblings. As in, you just give me a number, don't have to give me a name, there's too many of them to name.
Oh, there's Tyrone. I know Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Let's go 5.
There's 7. So.
7?
Yeah, actually, you're right, there's 5 of us with mum and dad.
Yeah.
And there's 2 others from my dad, so.
Right. Are you the oldest?
Second oldest. To finish off with, Europe. Last song, and can you give me a demo?
Rock the Casbah, and then card. You want to give us a bit of a... Thanks, mate.
Junior, Smithers and all the Crows players were required to take a 4-day break from football over the bye. Some had a short holiday, others stayed home. Let's find out what they got up to.
Adelaide had the bye in round 14, so the Crows players enjoyed a couple of days off. Jordan Gallucci welcomed an adorable blue English staffy into his family. Believe it or not, Axel already has his own Instagram page. Shane McAdam returned home to Halls Creek in Western Australia, while Rory and Belinda returned to the place of their wedding, Byron Bay. Andy Otten turned 30, and the Crouch brothers, along with Paul Seatsman and Rory Atkins, enjoyed a getaway to Clare.
Since the Adelaide Football Club joined the AFL in 1991, 224 players have worn the Crows Guernsey. And each week, Flight Centre helps us turn back the clock on their careers.
For O'Keefe, prime position. Oh, Reilly! That is brilliant. What an outstanding grab.
Walking through the door and into 2001, the place has changed. Still got the same culture, the same culture system that we had when I first started. So that's still ingrained in the football club, but obviously the staff and the player turnovers are quite significant. My second game, I got a handball off Wayne Carey and I kicked my first goal. And I was a North Melbourne supporter growing up, so that was a bit of a buzz for myself. But so it was great to play with him.
My medical team have told me that given the impact of the accident and subsequent surgery, that they are unanimous in their recommendation that I never play contact sport again.
Pre-season training and just went back for the ball and for a ground ball and was going a little bit too hard, and especially on a teammate's knee, and yeah, I don't remember any of the day. I remember waking up in ICU at 9:30 at night and didn't know what had happened, and woke up with 70 staples in my head, and it was an accident. There was nothing malice towards it, but I had a depressed fracture in my skull, and I had to learn how to read and write and do all the simple things again. And I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do that again. I thought I wouldn't be able to function the way I wanted to function. Yes, I'm a development coach for the defenders, so my main role is to fast track and develop these young guys coming through to make them ready to play AFL football. Enjoy the development, enjoy working with the younger guys, and giving them and helping them to have some tools to play AFL footy and realise what it takes to play AFL football. So I really enjoy the development. At some point I'll step up to a line coach. I'd love to try to give that a go. Yeah, I feel great. I feel very energetic. I feel healthy, even though I'd love to lose a few more kgs, but that's after footy, I guess. But yeah, all in all, I'm feeling 100%. I'm feeling looking forward to what's next in my journey in my coaching.
Shortly, we'll meet someone who, by comparison, has only just started his football journey.
When the Crows next play in Geelong, there's one young man who'd like nothing more than to be in the team. Ned McHenry played his junior footy only minutes from the Cats' home ground. Since being drafted last year, he's impressed with his endurance and tackling pressure. Thanks to Toyota Good for Footy, Ned recalls his early days with the Barwon Head Seagulls and the Geelong Falcons.
Gets it out here and a chance for Ned McHenry. He works around the body and Ned McHenry comes up with a goal.
I grew up in Macedon, in the country there, well country-ish, and played for the Macedon Cats there as a junior and loved that, and then moved to Geelong and played my footy thereafter. In year 9 I went to Timbertop at Geelong Grammar, which is a year essentially out in the total bush in Mansfield, right under Mount Buller, and we live in a unit with 15 other boys, so you're pretty much a metre apart from each other, and there's no phones, no real computers or anything like that. The only way you can connect home is with letters, so I used to write mum a letter every few months and report back, and it was that, no hot water unless you lived in the boiler, and lots of running and that kind of stuff, so it was interesting. Got into the Geelong Falcons there, which was really cool with Mickey Turner and Doc O'Keefe, and loved the Falcons and played as a bottom major there when we won the premiership, which was amazing. Probably one of the real footy highlights.
He's got elite endeavour. Look at the tackle numbers: 11 versus the Allies, 15 versus South Australia, 10 versus Metros.
The interstate move was probably almost a little bit more challenging than I probably anticipated, to be honest, getting drafted. But it's been made so easy by the players and the senior players and the kind of the core group of people that are really here with our welfare team and coaches and everyone. They've just got your development and your welfare really first in mind, and that's really amazing. The club's just welcomed us in, and I love it.
Well, the 2019 Toyota Good for Footy raffle is open with the aim of raising $1 million for grassroots clubs across Australia. Do your part to support local footy and buy a ticket. Go to toyota.com.au/AFL raffle and start raising some serious cash for local clubs. Well, Toyota also rewards our Crow in the crowd each week, and when our camera was out and about at Adelaide Oval, it spotted you. If you recognise yourself, contact the club by 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Have some photo ID handy and a merchandise pack will be yours.
That just about wraps up our show today, brought to you by Optus. Remember to keep an eye on @The Crow Show on Twitter for all the latest news.
Yes, also check out the club's social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram.
Thanks for your company, and we look forward to joining you again next Sunday
at 11:30 on 7. See you then.
Bye for now.